Returns on guaranteed investment certificates, or GICs, are the highest they've been in years as Canadians navigate a volatile economy and high interest rates. So is now the right time to park more of your money in GICs? Peter Cishecki of Everything Financial joins us now with some advice. Good morning, Peter. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you.
So for people who don't know, what is a GIC, or a guaranteed investment certificate?
Basically a term deposit where there's no volatility, there's no fluctuation in the value. You're given the rate of return you're going to earn up front, and that's guaranteed for whatever the term is. This is basically a term deposit, whether that's 1 year, 5 years, it could be months, but 5 years is kind of usually the maximum length someone will choose.
So does the bank's central interest rate impact that then?
It does. It's affected by that. It's affected by mortgage rates. I mean, basically what it is banks or investment institutions are lending out money to people from the investments you're giving the bank. So if the bank gives you 4% on your GIC, they might turn around and make 9 or 10% on that money, lending it out to somebody else. So people think there's no fees, but there is. It's whatever the bank decides the spread is and how much they're going to make.
So how, because there's a lot of different places that someone can put their money. So how can one decide if a GIC is right for them?
Well, a GIC is right if anything else won't allow you to sleep at night.
Okay, because of the guaranteed
Because of the guaranteed. And some people just do not want zero volatility, but also, even though it might be a low interest rate, Carrie, if someone's investing money for just a short period of time, maybe they're parking money for 1 year or 6 months because they sold a house and the other house they're going to buy isn't available or not ready yet or whatever, and they need to park their money, well, better to get 2-3% in this environment than have the uncertainty of money invested in the markets going up and down when you just can't afford to have it go up or down.
Yeah, they don't like that fluctuation. Okay, so what questions should one be asking when looking at a GIC?
First question, is it redeemable?
Okay, or some are not?
Or non-redeemable, and a lot of times by default, the institution will give you non-redeemable, and you think, well, it's a tiny bit higher in interest rate, like very tiny bit, but you have zero flexibility. What if your situation changes and you need to cash that in and you can't? So you got to look at your individual situation and maybe sacrificing a tiny bit of interest for the flexibility of non-redeemable will be better for you, but you should at least know the difference. So you have to ask that question for sure.
All right, because you might need that money, so you'd want to make sure it's non-redeemable.
Or make sure it's redeemable.
Or make sure it's redeemable. If you want the money, make sure it's redeemable. Or get the shorter term, because there's like a 1 or a 3 or a 5.
Exactly. Yeah, shorter term is another thing. Anything in money, as you've heard me been saying for years now, that puts you in control of your money and gives you more flexibility is better for you no matter what.
Okay, so if rather than park in a GIC, are there other investment options that are similar?
There are investment options in the fixed income world, in the investment world we talk about with portfolio management companies that are very, very conservative, but they're still not, that guaranteed word still isn't there. Now, they'll have a low return. They're not really that volatile. That doesn't mean there's zero risk, though. They do fluctuate a little bit, but those are other options. But you have to know all the pros and cons and what fits your risk analysis, really.
So you're finding more people are interested in GICs more than they were before?
They're asking the questions, but there's the tax component too, and that a lot of times will steer people away from the GICs, just the fear of what they're going to have to pay in income tax.
Ah, gotcha. Peter Cishecki with Everything Financial, with all you need to know about GICs. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Carrie.
Good to see you. Oh, yeah, and happy early birthday.
Oh, geez, here we go, yeah.
Happy early birthday.
40 again, here we go.
Yeah, looking good for 40. Okay, thanks, Peter.